UFC Fight Night, Lerone Murphy versus Josh Emmett goes down tomorrow. And today I'm going to give you my best bets and betting guide. I know my camera's not on. I don't really understand what's going on with it. But I'm here to make this video, and I'm going to go through what I got. But let's hop right into it, man. First bet up is going to be Davey Grant, plus 145. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to cash this out yet because they're still giving me more money than I put in. Because I did get this at plus 145. It's not at plus 145 anymore. But I probably just let it ride. I'll probably just let it ride. We've had a really good past 2 weeks, and I'm just gonna let it go, man. Davey Grant, I trust him to get this one done. He's got good power, great volume, solid cardio as well. And that's the biggest test here. It's gonna be the cardio. But I think that Davey Grant can keep up even at 39 years old, man. He's still good, and I definitely think he is the better striker here than Daniel Santos and better on the mat. I do firmly believe that. It's just going to be a testament of how he takes these shots at 39 years old and how if he's able to keep up, because there's no doubt in my mind that I think that Davey Grant is a better fighter than Daniel Santos. But it's just going to be if he's able to keep up in this fight. I think at least he wins the first 2 rounds. But it is still a consideration for me to cash this one out because I just want to watch the fight and I don't want to have to sweat out Davey Grant because I like both of these guys and I think the fight is going to be really entertaining. But we'll see what happens. But more than likely, I will keep it in. Just check my Discord for any updates about that. But if you didn't get it at plus 145, then you should probably just let it ride. But let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Daniel Frunza, Victor Henry. To me, man, Victor Henry, I just like his game, and I've seen a good amount of people picking the other guy, Pedro Falco, he's fighting. But, man, I just trust Victor Henry. He's got a wealth of experience, fought great competition. He's got good striking. He's got good grappling, and he's got great volume and pace, man. I think that, Falco might have the more danger, but I just trust Victor Henry, man. He's a very good fighter. He can push the pace. He can counter-strike you. But ultimately, man, it's when he starts flowing, gets in that, that flow state and kind of feels you wearing down a little bit, then he starts to get going. And then it looks like there's nobody going to stop him, right? So I think that Victor Henry's able to get that done here, versus Pedro Falco. So I expect him to get it done at plus 220 or plus 215, I think it was. Daniel Frunza is a guy who, to me, a pretty solid fighter. I think I'm just over. To me, in my breakdown video, I did talk about how Reese McKee, is on the end of his contract. This is it, right? If he doesn't win, he's done. And usually that gives these fighters kind of a sense of motivation. But ultimately, man, if we're not talking about that, Daniel Frunza is the much better fighter. Daniel Frunza is explosive. He's fast. He's got a hefty right hand. I could see him finishing this fight. And on the other end, man, I can't see McKee finishing the fight. I think that, Daniel Frunza struggles with guys who are solid grapplers, right? I think if it's on the feet, he's not going to have many issues against Reese McKee because Reese McKee, first of all, I don't even think he has a takedown inside of the UFC. His BJJ is solid, but I just don't know if his takedowns are good enough to get anybody down, really. And I think that's what it comes down to. Reese McKee's got a decent jab. But I think the more explosive guy, the quicker guy, much quicker guy, especially early on into this fight, is going to be Daniel Frunza. I expect him to, win the first 2 rounds easily and win the 3rd round too. I expect him to get a finish actually. And I know Reese McKee's tough, but and he can be knocked out, right? I have seen him hurt. Angel Lusa hurt him bad. But Reese McKee, man, I just can't get behind his skill set. I just don't think he's good. And I think that if you're not going to take Frunza down, he's going to be able to tag you on the feet. He's a basic striker, but he's got good technique. He's fast. He hits hard. And he should be able to win this fight. But we'll move on to my favorites, the other props that I've got here. Look, man, the first one I'm going to go over is Chang Ho Lee inside the distance. I don't know what we're looking at here. Now, plus 300 is a nasty number. I think that Chang Ho Lee can definitely win this fight inside the distance. His last win is his last fight, a win over Zhao Long, is a tough dude, a very tough and durable guy. Like you cannot finish that guy. We have seen Cortavius Romeus finish. We have seen Cortavius Romeus get tired. Chang Ho Lee, and I'll go back to this fight once again. I don't remember the exact dude he was fighting a pretty good Chinese fighter on road to the UFC, a guy that has, fought some good competition. And anyways, Chang Ho Lee was possibly down 2 rounds, but he had just put so much pressure, so much pace on this guy. that he just took him down in the later end of the fight, and he was like gassed out, completely gassed out. And Chang Ho Lee's finishing ability and his sense to go get the finish is very good, man. He's going to take any opportunity you give it him to get the finish. You know, you see cardio machines like a Merab Dvalishvili or someone, you know, I don't know how to explain. Who else? Like, you know, cardio machines like that. They don't really go for the finish. This guy's going to go for the finish. You know, he's going to get into mount. He's going to take your back and land ground and pound or choke you out. That's why I was thinking about going with the TKO. But he does have some submissions on his record. I think we'll see some grappling in this fight. And the way that Romies was getting out-grappled by Gaston Bolaños is really bad. Really bad. I think Chang Ho Lee wins this fight. I might be betting on Chang Ho Lee as well, just his money line. But I think he gets it done inside the distance. It's one of my favorite bets on the card. Plus 300 is a absolute, you know, crazy number here. But I am going to go with Chang Ho Lee inside the distance at plus 300. Now, the next one, Brad Tavares KO. Kind of a long shot, right? Because Brad Tavares is not hitting hard. You know, he doesn't have many finishes inside of the UFC. But I'm damn sure I can provide you a good insight on this and good explanation onto why I'm taking this. Brad Tavares, man, he's got slick striking. His boxing's good. His leg kicks are good. But it's more on the other side of Gerald Meerschaert, where he has been dropped in his last two fights, hurt badly. You know, Renier de Ridder was able to drop this guy, and potentially, if that fight was extended, obviously it was at the end of the round. If that fight would have been a little bit, or that round would have been a little bit longer, I think, you know, Renier de Ridder could have finished him. Now, out of Gerald Meerschaert's last 6 losses, 4 of them are coming by way of finish, and the guys that he's losing to that are not by finish are like Andre Petrosky, you know, so a guy who doesn't really have finishing ability. To me, man, I think that anybody, if they're able to keep the fight on the feet with Gerald Meerschaert, they're going to have a good chance to knock him out. And it's just because of his defense. His defense is not good and his durability is not great. He leans back often, and I think that Brad Tavares is definitely live for a finish here. You really won't see obviously he's not Chimaev or he's not Joe Pyfer, but he's a better striker than Renier de Ridder, and I do think he's going to be able to find the mark here. I don't really see Gerald being able to take him down. Brad Tavares, when he's in front of these guys like a Chris Weidman or like someone that knows that he knows has to take them down and there's not much threat on the feet with them, he's going to be able to win. He's going to be able to win easily. So there's a good chance. I have seen this line starting to creep down a little bit. There's a good chance I am going to throw some money on Brad Tavares, possibly in a parlay. But make sure you join my Discord. I will be updating you on that. And if I do, I'll post it there. And the last one is going to be Joe Anderson Brito KO. I wanted to do round 1 KO, but I don't know, man. Pat, I think it could be potentially a close fight, you know, if Pat is able to get the fight to the ground. But if he's not, man, he's a sitting duck out there. I really do feel like he is a sitting duck, especially in front of an explosive guy like Joe Anderson Brito here. Pat, if he's not able to get it down, man, he's going to get knocked out probably. More than likely, he's going to get knocked out. Plus 150 is a good enough number for me to feel comfortable about it. I think that Pat, you know, while I am picking Brito, Pat could win, I know, but I just don't see him getting it down. And if he does, I think the clinch is going to be somewhere where Brito's able to, you know, do well, because I think that Brito's really strong. He's really physical. And I kind of just think that Pat's going to have a hard time. And on the feet, if it's at range, man, you know, Brito's just got to connect with one, right? It's just Pat's chin is so bad, and I worry so much about it. That's why I didn't pick him here. But I am going to go with Brito by a KO here. Make sure you join my Discord. I'm going to put the link in the description. But yeah, man, that's going to wrap it up for me. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.